What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Maggie Rogers' third album, Don't Forget Me. Been a little less than 2 years since Maggie's last album, Surrender, in 2022. And Maggie Rogers, I think at this point she's kind of settled into this, like mid-tier pop stardom where she definitely has a core fan base, but she's still very much a rising artist, but certainly not a superstar. I think what most impressed me about Maggie Rogers' third album, Don't Forget Me, is that it clearly comes across as Maggie really honing in on what kind of sound she wants to be as an artist. This is her third album, but it's her first to really commit to this pop rock sonic direction, very much taking the more rock leaning second album, Surrender, and the really pop leaning Heard It in a Past Life, the debut album. She's kind of combined the two in a certain sense, I think to great effect. To me, this is her best album yet. This is Maggie's most convincing album to me. I think it just comes across as quite confident. She's a good singer, but she's not like an amazing vocal talent by any means, but she's able to grow beyond that with her, I think, really impassioned singing and her really personal lyricism. On this album, which she whipped together in only 5 days working with Ian Fitchuk, the noted producer famous for working with Casey Musgraves, this album has some sneaky tight melodies still, and Maggie just feels right at home on like these really sweltering, like booming choruses where she can really get into it. There's a lot of highlights on this, and for an album that's pretty brief, 10 songs, 36 minutes, I think there's a lot of highlights here. I'm definitely more into the upbeat side of things versus the piano ballads, which kind of are still sleepy to me, but I think there's some clear highlights on this, and to me this is my favorite sound we've gotten from Maggie, and I'll be curious if she continues to focus on this or branch out and continue to do all kinds of different things. She definitely seems to have an open mind when it comes to the kind of work she makes, but we're also clearly very far removed from the viral 2016 Alaska moment at NYU with Pharrell. We've moved way beyond that at this point. Just going through the track list here, I think the second song, Drunk, really stands out. I love the drums on that. I think So Sick of Dreaming. Also, I love like Maggie almost like kind of wailing vocally, but very energetic. Again, the drums really stand out. The Kill, I mean, this is one of the catchiest ones. I love the singing on the hook, but just it's a really fun melody. I think that's a clear highlight. That's probably the biggest quote hit on here. If Now Was Then, a little tambourine action. I love the production. In general, I think the drums kind of throughout this album like really stand out. Like there's I think a fun rhythm, a fun tempo to most of the album. I still do piano ballad, it's kind of quiet for me. Not really what I was feeling, but I think to that point, it's quite a strong, run up. Thankfully, Maggie doesn't stick around in the piano ballad lane too long, because I think right after that you get On and On and On, where that song picks right back up. Very sticky chorus, and I think the vocals, geez, like that's another big highlight for me. And the guitar solo in the middle of the song. It's fun. Never Going Home, I think, again, very up-tempo, strong vocal performance once again. All the same, a bit of a slow one, but then Don't Forget Me, solid closer. So, 10 songs, I think I like 7 of the songs quite a bit. Like, it's pretty good. And I think this is just kind of this is a more interesting lane, to have someone lean a little bit more rock from the pop side of things. Obviously the pop sphere, the pop landscape, largely dominated by women these days, but it's vast, right? But I think this is kind of a lane that Maggie doesn't have as many peers in. No one's really making a lot of music like this in Big Ten pop, and also it's not like she's compromising herself in any way. She's very convincing at this. She does it, I think, very well. And again, I think this type of music really speaks to her strengths as a singer, as a writer. So I think this makes a lot of sense, and music is there to back it up. But yeah, let me know, how'd you feel about Maggie Rogers' third album, Don't Forget Me? Do you think this is her best sound, her best work yet? As I do, let me know. And for more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.